Hey guys, welcome back to the Monk quest lines. Next up, Insult and Intelligence. Professor Eric seems to measure the ether of more ancient battlefields. Except... just the pupil I was hoping to see. I was a hair's breadth from setting out on my own. To look at you, yes, I dare say you appear to have been growing in brawn at the expense of brain. Or the expense of evidently. Right, well, let us measure some ether, shall we? And by we, I mean you. Oh, and the monk simpleton, of course. Though contrary to his nature, he has already set out for the destination I assigned him. Thinking perhaps that you are far too stupid to take, much less understand, etheric readings. It is true you are stupid, but the Ethereum meter shall do all the work for you and transmit the data back to me. As souls more suited to action, the monk simpleton and yourself need only carry the device on your person and set about beating on things as you always do. It shall capture data as you trudge about hither and yon. Ether is not only the source of all magics, but also the fount of all life. Yet despite its undubitable... Let's try that again. Despite its ubiquity, it remains imperceptible. When a living thing dies, the ether comprising its life is released. When this discharge takes place, a portion of that ether remains, lingering in the physical world. Not that you, ethereal crystallizations, physical manifestations, apparitions of the deceased, luminescent glow, known as ethereal threshold. In short, the more void send... let's try that again. The more violent and dramatic the loss of life, the greater the amount of ether left behind. Either in its imperceptible form or in crystallizations. And where are most lives lost in this matter? Cemeteries. No! False, you idiot! The battlefields! Do you not see? With etheric readings of those locations, we can discern the scale and more of the battles that took place there. As for those fool beliefs the monkhood keeps, chakra and spiritual energies and whatnot, if I were to allow that they truly exist, I would be inclined to say they are not. They are one and the same as ether itself. The ether churning around these ancient battle sites comes to naturally settle in the surrounding life, both plant and animal. Though more so in the latter, it accumulates within them. Felling these beasts then releases that ether, causing a surge that resonates with the ether within you, causing it to expand. The so-called opening of the chakra. By this, the very power of life itself within you grows. A watered-down explanation, but adequate for one of your mental prowess, I believe. Mine own wife never had the patience for such things either, nor my passion. She cursed me in my work, took our children, and returned to Ala Mhigan. But now is not the time for that tale. The area I am placing in your charge is Bloodshore in eastern NOSCEA. Place the ethereal meter in the appropriate location, and after a spell, retrieve it and bring it to me. I obtain the data I require, and you and the monk simpleton are afforded the chance to indulge your, how shall I put it, charming little backward fantasies. All are happy. Ideally, I would prefer you have a knowledgeable understanding of Bloodshore's history, but I fear we lack the time for me to educate you. I need hardly tell you that my research takes precedent over your schooling. Is that right now? On his inquiry, blah de blah de blah. Ooh. Study of ether and then Bloodshaw. I shall tell you yet again of the study of ether. This is actually something that will be very interesting to me, so I will listen. As I laboriously explained, ether is not only the source of all magics, but also the fount of all life. Yet despite its ubiquity, it remains imperceptible to the sense of man. When a living thing dies, the ether comprising its life is released. It has been learned that when this discharge takes place, a portion of that ether remains, lingering in the physical world. No doubt you have come across ethereal crystallizations in the course of your travels. All scholars now agree that these are the physical manifestations of great concentrations of ether. I have a theory, however, that they are not the only such manifestations. Allow me to give an example even you can understand. That of ghosts, spirits, disembodied souls, apparitions of the deceased come back to haunt and generally unnerve us. False! These are nothing more than luminescent glow of ether in the atmosphere. It is possible, though highly unlikely, that you are asking yourself why a portion of the ether remains. Right. Well, the amount of ether that can shift between the physical and ethereal realms in any given instance is limited. I call this the ethereal threshold. Any ether present in excess of the threshold is left behind. The more violent or dramatic the loss of life, the greater the amount of inner ether released to take the form of crystal or remain imperceptible in the atmosphere. And you surely recollect the scene I identified as most apt to produce such violent deaths. Wait. And you surely recollect the scene I identified as On the field of battle, it stands to reason, therefore, that throughout the ethereal measurements of such sites, I will be able to reconstruct details of the wars waged upon them. And that, Alexander, is why this military historian has a deeply vested interest in the subject of ether. Despite all we do know, however, many mysteries remain. The study of ether will no doubt continue to yield fascinating and awe-inspiring discoveries for years to come. Of that I am certain. And fine, the Bloodshaw. Very well. Prepare yourself to learn all you ever cared to and more of the land known as Bloodshaw. The sanguine nomenclature derives from a truly horrific battle which took place there some 50 years ago. The two greatest pirate fleets of the day, the League of the Lost Bastards and the followers of Richard Mistbeard, met one another at sea just off the coast. To this very day, no one can say with certainty who shot first, nor why. Mayhap there was no good reason at all. All know the two pirates' leaders loathed one another, and when dealing with pirates, little more than that is needed to ignite a war. By the by, it just so happens that the head of the League of the Lost Bastards, one Blowfis, was father to the current admiral of Limsa Laminza. It is told the old sea dog wished for his daughter to take command of his fleet upon his death. But that is a tale for another time. Suffice it to say, a shot was fired, and the mightiest pirate armada in the realm came to fight one of the bloodiest naval battles in Eorzean history. All told, 7 galleys were sunk that day, and dozens of smaller warships. 4 of the 7 galleys went down in mere moments. When at the last the smoke cleared, and the cannons fell silent, hundreds lay dead on the ocean's bottom. It is said the foam of the tides was tinged red with blood for days after the battle, and bodies washed ashore for weeks to follow. So, as you can see, geography and history are inextricably linked. Regrettably, the region has recently been purchased by a wealthy UL'DAH merchant named Greg. Good old Greg's. He has chosen to turn a blind eye to the land's history and has taken to calling it Costa del Sol. And I believe I will stop there concerning Bloodshore and allow your feeble brain to process all that it has heard. That'll do for me, thank you. To the bloody shores! Good old Master Greg. Oh no, it's changed me thing, I just realised. Oh, I'm gonna have to set that up later. Alright, so we need to go to there. I don't seem to remember that being on the map before. I mean, I know you could go to there. Maybe I'm imagining things. Alright, what we got? Let's see, Etherometer. We can maybe try out Rockbreaker. Sense a hostile presence. Do I now? Oh God. Everything's in different places than it should be. Wait a minute. Why am I missing the first skill? This is very odd indeed. Let's just do some of these. Oh, God damn it. Like, literally, why was boot shine automatically taken off? How stupid is that? Oops, that was the wrong thing. And I got stunned for my stupidity. Do 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 do. The ancient energy something chakra. And I guess we head back then. God, I'm gonna have to sort all that stuff out. Why did you have to change it just because I equipped a job stone? I'm still perplexed as to why you got rid of the skill that enables everything else. Also, because of my failings, I didn't get to show off the new skill. Oops. Don't worry, that'll all be sorted before the next part. Do, 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 do. Have you brought the etherometer? Yep, here you go. It seems the device has suffered some damage. I suppose such things are unavoidable in this line of work. I must see to its repairs at once. That is, after all, why I put up here at the Goldsmith's Guild. My etherometer is no ordinary device. I came up with the elaborate design myself. Had the finest engineers at Garland Ironworks draft the schematics, and then commissioned the most talented goldsmiths to fabricate it. Whittigelt delivered the result of his outing not long ago. I must insist that you take your leave of you take your leave of me now. There is a wealth of data for me to analyze, and I fear that simply having you nearby will somehow affect the processing power of my brain. Repairing the etherometer and determining which location to next investigate will require some time. Why don't you go and train those muscles of yours, or whatever it is you do in my absence? Well, we've got shoulder tackle. Da 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 da. You opened a chakra within you. And got shoulder tackle. Ooh, which I can use straight away. Oh, I can't because I have to target something. Darn it. And our next one is Slave to the Ether, which will unlock Fists of Fire, which is a cool one because that ups damage. Okay, well, that was interesting, I guess. And we have all of them read, so I guess we'll catch up next time with Fists of Fire and a Slave to the Ether. So I hope you're enjoying these. I've got to go and fix this, and I'll see you in the next one. What's a waiver? Bye bye!